Hey guys, welcome back.
Welcome back to Inspired Delusions.
If you're new here, my name is Kayma.
And I'm Olivia.
And we are your delusional besties.
Hey Besties.
Hey Besties.
Hey Besties.
And welcome to all the new besties.
Yeah, we have been growing really fast lately, so we wanted to do a quick little introduction and, say hello to all of our new fans.
Yeah.
Our new loyal, dedicated fans. Because as soon as you listen to one episode, you're hooked.
You're addicted to
You're
all.
addicted. You're addicted to us. But yeah, we are two best friends who are extremely delusional.
Yeah.
And we decided to just go all in on our dreams and all in on becoming the best versions of ourselves, really.
Yeah.
Like, we're obsessed with manifesting and realizing, like, we realized that you can create your own reality.
Yeah.
So we're like, wait a second.
We just it's a social experiment, essentially, what our lives are right now, because we decided if we actually believe in all these things, if we believe in creating your reality creation, if we believe in pulling from the 5D into your 3D, if we believe that we're actually worthy.
And like being so delusional is the key.
Right. And we believe in being delusional. Why would we not full send what we want to do and essentially waste time?
Yeah. Right? Why waste time?
Right.
Go all in.
We're cutting it straight to the source.
Yeah.
And the source is us.
The source is us.
Yeah.
It all comes from us. And we're like, why not? Like, go all in on your dreams. And that's what we're doing. So, and it's been working so far.
It has been working.
It's been working so far, you guys.
It has been working so far. And also, if you're watching us on YouTube or Spotify, you notice the sunnies are back on.
The sunnies are back.
I think the sunnies are our alter ego.
Yeah, the sunnies kind of are our alter ego.
Yeah,
the sunnies are back. We're always going through shifts and quantum leaps and being more delusional, but we kind of had a regrouping.
We had a regrouping.
This weekend.
We did. Yeah, we had conversations were had.
Some radical honesty conversations were had.
Radical honesty was had between the two of
us.
Wait a second. Yeah, and it's not bad.
It's never bad.
It's never bad. It's never bad, but yeah, Olivia and I were just like, listen, we have to be honest with ourselves. We know that shifts happen
when you embody.
And when there's some sort of energetic cleansing within.
Yeah, totally.
Because the laws of the universe, the science guys, it proves time and time again that whatever you feel inside, it's reflected outside of you. The world is a mirror always. And I think you have to continue looking in the mirror. You have to continue checking.
Yes.
And sometimes when things are going really, really good for a while, you maybe forget to check. And then all of a sudden you realize, oh, maybe I steered off course a little bit, or maybe I'm not getting to my destination as quickly as I know is possible.
Yeah, totally. So yeah, we kind of had those realizations. We're like, wait a second, we need to get even more delusional / like we need to embody our future selves even more.
Yeah.
And
the discipline.
We're becoming a little bit more disciplined. We're disciplined.
We are disciplined.
It's already done. And that's kind of a bit that we do. If you haven't heard that before, of like, I mean, you really can decide to become a completely new person in a day, at any second, literally in a second. And we were talking about that last night, because it's like, wait, if you think that you're the best, if you just put on your like big balls energy, actually we need a new saying for the girls, but that like big bitch energy. Like, if you just embody that big bitch energy of like, wait, I'm literally the best, who can prove to you that you're lying?
Who can tell you otherwise?
No one can tell you otherwise if you really just embody that. And I was okay.
Our truths are coming out,
you guys.
No.
What's so funny is that Kayma has a little bit more of like a better moral compass than me, and this is kind of a thing. Listen, sometimes I'm a little bit of a bad guy. Not really.
No, you're not. I think I'm just a little more sensitive.
Yeah, Kim's is a little bit more sensitive. And I was like, wait, Kim, can I say the word gaslight? Like, is that allowed? She's like, yeah. I was like, okay, cool. So this is allowed. So kind of, I tell this to my clients.
I thought other truths were coming out.
They will. Throughout the episode.
Oh, gaslight's not bad.
Don't worry.
We love saying gaslight.
More truths are coming out through the episode. Let's start off a little slow. So we love the word gaslight because it's like you can kind of gaslight yourself into believing in yourself. You can gaslight yourself into happiness almost, like kind of can.
And confidence.
No
one can tell the difference if you aren't confident.
Yes.
They just see what you're doing.
Yes. And you were saying like not even your brain. Even your brain can really
even convince your brain.
Yes. If you can gaslight yourself into your success, you can gaslight yourself.
You can biohack your brain into being your your number one defender.
Yes.
And support of whatever you're saying is happening.
Number one supporter.
Number one supporter.
Yes. Number one supporter. And so we're just kind of leaning into that even more. And we were talking about that last night too, of like, we need to stop being so humble. We're like already not humble. Actually, guys, we've been way too humble. Like the truth is really being revealed now. And something else. This is the truth. Okay, so this is the truth. We were talking about last night, and Kayma was arguing with me, saying that we're not the best podcast in the world.
No, that's not.
And she goes, well, there's other podcasts that are better. I said, huh? What are you talking about? Yeah, this is confession time. Yeah. Let's tell the audience.
We're taking it out of context. I was trying to say, how can we find more discipline to be and embody the best podcast? Because that's our bit, right? Number one podcast, number one podcast. Okay, how can we level up and actually be number one podcast? I wasn't dismissing that we're the best podcast. So let me clarify, you guys.
So, and that just goes to like, if you believe that you're the best, then who can tell you otherwise?
Nobody can tell you otherwise.
Really no. So we have literally the best podcast in the world. And Kim's was like, well, Kim's, you're kind of just being like too nice. Not too nice. You're being very nice.
I didn't want to compare ourselves to other people. I was like, we should just focus in on ourselves.
Yeah, you can focus in on yourself. And I was kind of like, no, we're better. So, well, hold on a second. How can you be the best if you're not better than other people?
Yes.
Low key.
I see where you're coming from.
So we came to the conclusion that this is the best podcast. We believe that. Yeah. That's the truth. Obviously, everyone listening knows that. And we just had that completely reflected back to us by one of our sweet neighbors. We
shout out if you're listening.
Yeah, shout out.
We're going to talk about it.
Yeah, shout out to our sweet neighbor. You know who you are, and we know you're listening. We just ran into her in the hallway, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, girls! Like, I've been listening to your podcast. It's really been helping, and you guys really have the best podcast."
We're like, exact words. She said, "You are the best podcast.
That's y'all's podcast is literally the best podcast." And I literally was like,
Olivia and I looked at each other. I said, okay, universe, I hear you. Thank you, angels. Thank you, future self. All right, let me step it up.
I think she said that. I said, I told you. So, yeah, it's kind of, I mean, if you believe in yourself, it gets reflected back to you. And I just made a TikTok about that, actually. Side note, I just made a TikTok and I was like, it's actually, life gets so fun when you're obsessed with yourself.
Yeah.
And I genuinely do believe that to my core. And I think that when you become obsessed with yourself, you start being able to treat other people better. Yeah. That's what I think. Like, it's not in a narcissistic way, even though I guess I kind of really don't understand what narcissist means, but not in a bad way. But
it's just like true self-love and confidence.
Yes.
When you have that and when you embody that and you truly feel that, there's no competition.
There's no competition. Yeah. The more I've been, I guess, okay, let me talk for myself. The more that I have become,
you can talk for us.
Okay. Everyone. So I talk for everyone. Always talking for you. The more I have become, more we have become more and more obsessed with ourselves. Okay, for me, the more I have become so obsessed with myself, literally the more love I have for other people, the more I support other people, the more I'm like, babe, you should be obsessed with yourself too. And I had posted that TikTok on YouTube as well. And someone just commented and said, well, just admit that you're a narcissist. And I said, yeah, I know.
That's why you use that word.
Yeah.
I was wondering why she said that word. I was like, what are you talking about?
Someone just said that. And I said, and I responded, I said, maybe. But because I was trying to, I kind of was just trying to be a little sassy, a little spicy with it. But then I was like, my manager, Kayma. I was like, Kayma probably doesn't want that on the internet. So I was like, I'm just joking, but I don't think that if you're obsessed with yourself and if you really love yourself, that means that you're a narcissist. I think it means you're remembering who the fuck you are. Yeah. And every single person should remember who the fuck they are.
Absolutely.
Ooh, and that goes to the souls.
The different earths.
The different earths. You guys, do you guys know who Dolores Cannon is?
I think we mentioned her briefly last episode.
Yeah, we mentioned her before, but Dolores Cannon is she's not a channeler.
I think she did channel.
She's a hypnotist.
Okay.
She hypnotizes
and
people.
she was doing the type of therapy. Yeah, yes. Past life regression.
Yes.
On her patients, and then her patients would talk about things.
Yeah, Dolores Cannon is this very woo-woo, if you want to go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
But she basically she's a hypnotherapist. She passed. But right. So she was a hypnotherapist. She has interviewed so many people or put them under hypnosis and kind of gets background and whatever. goes way into that. Basically, this is very woo-woo, but like she talks to people and they talk about like past lives, right?
It's,
like
it's kind of like Akashic records
type
of thing.
Yes, like past lives, like before they were even human, like type of before that, whatever. And essentially, the moral of what I'm saying is that everyone on Earth is actually better than all the other souls. Because apparently it's a really big deal to come to
Earth. Yeah, she was like, the way you shape your soul on Earth and the kind of challenges that you face down here, it's unlike any other.
Yeah,
and
like
it's tough.
Yes.
It's tough. Like we were brave to choose to come into this life and to live our lives, whatever that looks like.
Yes,
and it's shaping us for the best.
Yeah,
and one of the other realms she talks about, or I guess her patients like talk about, is there's places where it's all, the Earth is just all nature, or the world or the realm.
Yeah, whatever they're on. If it's a planet, if it's another dimension,
whatever they're on. Yeah. It's like, for example, it's all nature.
It's all nature.
You might
trees.
be a tree. You might be
a flower,
yep. A bee, the grass, the wind. And honestly, when I was going down that rabbit hole, it kind of set a fire underneath me. Ooh. Because I was like, I don't know if it's my ego. I don't know if this is a bad thing, because I was like, I don't want to be a tree.
You're like, I like being a human.
I like being a human. I like living my life, and I know that this life is a video game, and I can create my reality the way I want to create it.
Yes.
So it got me excited, because I was like, oh wait, this is my life. I want to take even more control.
Yes.
If I say I want something, I need to fully hold the vision and know in my soul I'm going to get it, and I need to continue moving and acting as if.
Yes.
And no one can tell me no. It doesn't fucking matter.
Yep.
I always talk about rejection as redirection, because I have a lot of rejection in the past maybe 10 years that has been the best redirection that I could ever hope for. Yeah. And it's put me into where I am right now, sitting on this couch talking to you. And I feel I love my life, and I feel so blessed. That being said, truly, if things feel aligned for you, nobody can tell you no.
Yep.
Nobody can tell you no except yourself.
No one can tell you no except yourself. And you're the only person that needs to believe in your dreams. 1000%. We were kind of going back and forth about that. And we'll probably do a whole nother episode of like rejection versus like persisting. Essentially. Yeah. But I think, basically, I really believe if you want something, if it's on your heart, like you're just saying, like really no one can tell you no. Like even if someone tells you no, you can still hold the vision. Like it doesn't matter if someone tells you no, kind of in a safe way. But in the example that I brought up was the founder of Canva. Because the founder of Canva essentially like was pitching her idea about Canva, and she literally got like 100 different no's. Like she pitched it no over and over and over again, but she knew it was she knew in her heart that it was a good idea, and eventually it got picked up, and now she's like one of the most successful female tech people like in the world.
Right.
So it's like, if you have something on your heart, you are the only one that needs to believe in it. Like you really are. And that's what being delusional is being like, I don't care if anyone else is telling me no. I don't care if anyone is telling me to be realistic. Like if I can imagine it, if I can hold the vision, understand that you are creating your reality. Right. So you just need to hold the vision.
Yeah. Holding the vision, and then body scanning, seeing how it feels in your stomach. Like, do you get for me, when things are off, or I think, oh, I need to pivot, I get nauseous. Ooh. And I can literally feel it, and I can't lie to myself.
Your body knows.
Totally. Right? And so it's like, do a body scan, check in with yourself. Does it still feel aligned? Is it causing you anxiety? Why is it causing you anxiety?
Yes.
There's definitely a subconscious or limiting belief that's there, or it's your intuition telling you, hey, maybe go down a different path.
Yeah.
But I think ultimately we know more than we realize we know.
1000%. I just said that to one of my one-on-one clients.
Really? This morning?
This morning, yeah.
Oh, interesting.
This morning, because she was talking about how like a therapist in the past had told her something that didn't really feel right, but she kept doing it anyways. And she ended up kind of like regretting that essentially. Mm-hmm. And, she's coming to me for like, for answers and for questions and things like that. But then I was like, hey babe, at the end of the day, trust yourself. Like you really, really do know all of the answers within yourself. Like even if I'm telling you to do something and it doesn't feel right, like if like just trust yourself.
Yeah.
It's just very much, I'm saying, like, trust yourself. You know all the answers. And sometimes we look for the external and we look for answers and we're asking everyone for advice. But a lot of times, internally.
Yeah.
What to do.
We know what to do.
Trust yourself.
We gotta trust ourselves, besties.
Yeah.
Trust ourselves.
Okay, so something else we were talking about last night. New saying just dropped.
Oh.
Listen up, guys. New saying just dropped for the delusional fam. Also, do we have like a Do we like, you know how Giggly Squad, love Giggly Squad podcast, shout out girls, but you know how they have like the gigglers?
Yeah.
What do we have for our?
I guess just the besties.
The besties.
Unless you guys want to create something.
Okay, what do we think? Besties, or do we want like Delulu bestie? I don't know.
Delulu.
I know
you don't like the word Delulu.
You don't like the word Delulu.
I don't know why I don't like it.
Okay, you guys, there's so many creative people. You guys give us a name for our people, for our community. The inspired ones. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, but anyways, hey besties, listen up. New saying just dropped for the Inspired Delusions universe. Universe, make it happen. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Universe, make it happen. Thank you.
Thank you. Me and Kames were talking about where we want to live next year, essentially. And we want to like a little bit, well, we want a nicer apartment. We're leveling up. We want a little bit more luxe, but we also love our area. Yeah. We love so many things about our apartment, but we want a nicer apartment, essentially. And we're like, we don't know how that's going to happen because we don't know if there's any.
Yeah, we love our neighborhood. Yeah. We have not seen any apartments that meet our desires in this particular neighborhood.
We haven't seen them, but we're like, hey, universe, this is what we want. Make it happen. Thank you.
Yeah. And so just a reminder, it really is none of our business. Abraham Hicks, she has 3 like rules. She's like, ask for it, take a step back, and like let the universe do what it needs to do.
Yeah, like let yourself receive it.
Yeah. She says it's none of your business. You're here to play. You're here to have a good time. Mm-hmm. Just ask and receive.
Ask and receive. And that goes to the TikTok you sent me of like, or maybe you can explain it, of the guy being like, you're not asking for too much. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah. This TikTok I was watching, this man essentially was saying, you need to keep your eye on the prize. You need to ask for what you want and then go for 100% of the time, because as you start to continue saying or letting things slide, I guess you start to let things slide and it's like, okay, it's fine. Yeah. And then you move on to the next thing. And then again, you're like, okay, it's fine. And move on to the next thing and next thing and next thing. And then one day you wake up and you're kind of like,
yeah. Or it's like, you're like, this is fine. You stay with it. Mm-hmm. Because if you're moving on, maybe that's kind of a good thing. But if you're like, this is okay, let me just stick with this.
Right.
Then you you're
settling.
You're settled.
You settle in each area, and you continue to settle, and you continue to settle, and continue to settle, and then one day you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I'm looking around, and this doesn't really seem like the life I was originally aligned with.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if that's the one you were talking about.
Nope.
Okay. As I started saying it, I was like, this is not what she was talking about.
But that's a good one too.
But this is a good one. This is relevant. And this is relevant in persisting, and no one can tell you no except for you.
Yes. And he basically was saying, like, let go of anything that's not in alignment, if that makes sense. If it doesn't feel in alignment, let it go. Like, trust that there's something better is going to come. So that is a good thing to mention too.
Yeah. If you can think of it, it's out there. Yeah. If other people have experienced it, it's out there.
Yeah.
Why would it not be for you?
Yeah.
You have to persist, and you have, if it feels good to you in your heart, you just have to keep moving with that notion.
Yes.
But I think what Olivia was referencing is there was this king and prince staying at a hotel, and there was this other father and son staying at the hotel. Yes. The father ran into the prince and was like, hey, it's my kid's birthday. I would really love if
the kid could meet
the king. Yeah. If the kid could meet your king, because I think it'd be really cool to just show him, look at this, whatever.
Yeah.
So Prince is like, okay, cool. He arranges it. The kid goes and meets the king, and they have a lovely conversation. They're really impressed, whatever. The dad then the next day or a couple days later gets an envelope from them, and essentially it's a birthday gift, and the king gives the kid $50,000. Yeah. And the dad sees it, and he goes back to the king and he says, hey, thank you so much for this. I cannot accept it. People usually for birthdays, or it was a bar mitzvah, they're like, for bar mitzvahs, you give like $10. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, like $50,000. That's way too much.
Right. Like, that's way too much. I can't accept that.
Yeah.
And the king or the prince was like, no, you can accept this because I am a king. I have this to give to you.
Yeah.
It would be disrespectful to give you anything less.
Yeah.
So then the guy who's retelling the story and doing the TikTok is like, take this and go to the universe, go to God, go to source, go to whatever higher power you believe in, and ask for the most delusional, the craziest thing you can ask for. Because if they really are the creator, if they really are source, why would they not be able to give you, like, move mountains for you?
Nothing is
essentially
too big.
Nothing is too big.
You're not asking for too much. 1000%. And I don't know if we talked about this in the last episode or when we talked about this, but I love that idea, because I'm like, oh yeah, if let's say God, universe, source, if it created an infinite universe, right, with the numbers that is expanding at 72 miles per hour, right, or no, per second, it's expanding infinitely at 72 miles per second. Okay. Yeah. There's like 200 trillion stars at this point, and and they're finding even more. So it's like, if you like, why would you think that your desires are big?
Right.
Babe, at the end of the day, even if you want the most things in this world, like, that's actually small compared to the capabilities of the universe, of God.
Right.
And we were talking about that last night too, or what was I saying, of like, oh, I also think of the universe and asking God for things, of like, God, the universe is basically like a really, really, really good personal assistant, because it's like, hey, can you make this happen? And if think of a really, really, really good personal assistant, they will make it happen.
Right.
Like, no matter what, they will make it happen. And that's kind of how you can think about your manifestations and your desires.
Yeah.
Nothing is impossible.
Yeah. Also, the book you love, A Manual for Manifestation.
Yeah.
That he talks about how it is so helpful for you to get everything you want, because one way or another, whether it's a puzzle piece fitting into another puzzle piece, you're helping your neighbor, or it's inspiration to show your neighbor they can do it also, or whatever the case may be. You getting your every desire is helpful for everybody, for humanity, for evolving. And it makes sense.
It makes so much sense.
And I think of Guru Benny's example when she was on the podcast a couple months ago. That's crazy.
Yeah.
When she was talking about, oh, you really, really want a job, but you haven't been able to find a job. But then the moment you do find a job, it's maybe relieving a coworker who needs to leave for maternity leave.
Yeah.
And so it fits right into that.
Yeah. You getting what you want is always
helping
someone else. Exactly. And you really have to trust that and lean into that, and get rid of any guilt that you might feel. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to manifest this, or I don't want to ask for too much because I feel guilty. And it's like, hey, when you release that, and when you realize there's infinite versions of reality. So it's like, there's a version where you don't get that, and then there's a version where you do get that. And
it's always splitting.
And it's like, it's not taking away from anyone else. There's a version where everyone has everything. So it's like, you're not taking away from anyone else. Make sure you keep dreaming big and asking for the best.
Yeah. I can share an old limiting belief that I had / I'm still working through it, but I think, for the most part, trust. It's gone. And it's working.
It's gone. Don't worry.
But I think something that I was questioning at the beginning of us, doing this or deciding to do this was spirituality and making large amounts of money.
Totally. Super common limiting belief.
Right. Because I was like, well, I'm a girl for the people.
You love your community.
I love my community.
Yeah. And you love everyone.
I love everybody. Yeah.
Yeah. Not just your community, I guess.
I'm a person for the people, right? Yes. I believe in equity and equality for all. I believe in universal, all needs being met, whatever. And so I felt guilty saying, okay, I'm a person for the people, yet I have $1 million business.
Right.
And so that kind of, my mind was
doing some battles.
My gymnastics
up
there. And then I was like, wait, the best thing that could happen is if I got all this money, because why would I not give it back and pour it back into my community, into the people I love?
Yes. That's why, I really do believe there's a shift in our monetary system or whatever. I do believe there's a shift in the way that this world is going to be working, of like, more and more good-hearted people are going to start having more and more like success and more money and more influence. And that is literally helping the world. Like, if all the good-hearted people, all of our listeners, that's why all of our listeners are going to be rich.
whatever that looks like for you. Because again, we all have different desires.
True. It doesn't even have to be just money, but
abundant in love, life, laughter, whatever.
Yeah. So glad that me and yours definition of abundance and success is aligned. We want to be, for us, it's money.
We said us, we will be traveling the world.
For us, yes, we will be millionaires. Yes, for sure. But whatever you want. Whatever you want's great. But, so we need more good-hearted people to have more influence and more money, if that means money or whatever. And the world's going to keep getting better and better. And that's why, and that's what we've like brainwashed ourselves to believe. Like, I genuinely am like, the world's going to be a better place when I have a lot of money.
Yeah, because you can influence a lot more things.
We're gonna be putting things in a good direction. But that's something we were talking about too. Also, side note, guys, we had to re-record this episode because part of the reason it was just a little off the other day when we were trying to record.
We were off a little bit.
We were a little off when we want to give you guys the best of the best. And part of the reason why we wanted to re-record was because I was like coughing throughout the episode, because sometimes when I laugh so hard, I like start coughing. And Kayma pranked me. She tricked me. Apparently Kayma's a really good liar.
I'm an actor, baby.
She was like, oh my God, acting. She was like, babe, I'm left-handed. And she was like tricking me to pretend that she was left-handed. And I was like, wait, what? And she was being so serious, being like, no, I'm left-handed. And I was like, okay, write something. So I grabbed a piece of paper. And she started writing, and it was she's not left-handed.
I'm not left-handed.
But the way that she started writing a K, I literally haven't laughed that hard, and
you're like crying.
I was literally crying, you guys, because I was like, wait, what? I was like, you're left-handed? I mean, I believed you.
I know.
I literally believed you until you wrote, and I said, oh.
And you know what? And that's the energy I need to hold in the personal stuff I'm trying to manifest.
Oh my God, we need to just be actors.
We need to all be actors.
We just need to act as
literally,
our
method acting.
We're method acting. Oh my God. Oh, wow, revelation. We just need to method act as our highest freaking selves, because no one can tell you otherwise. What did should we say her name? One of our members who just made that amazing TikTok. Can we say her name or no?
No, let's not say her name.
Okay, we won't say her name. She just made a TikTok, and she was like, stop. What did she say?
I don't even know, but
she is our ultimate.
Wait, let's pause.
Yeah.
Because I need to look it up.
Okay.
Actually, we found it, you guys. We're going to play the audio. I hope this comes out clear.
Yeah. Okay. Listen up and lock in. Okay.
Stand the F up to your 3D. If you don't like your freaking 3D, change it. This is your life, guys. And this happens to me too sometimes. I sometimes forget it.
Okay, but to the point of the beginning of that, stand the F up to your 3D. And that's so true. I reposted that. I said, oh, that's so true. Stand up, babe. Yeah. Like, we really...
Why do we forget?
Why do we forget?
Why do we get caught up?
It's very strange.
It's so bizarre.
Our brains, and that's how our brains work. They want to stay comfortable. They want to stay in old patterns, and they want to stay in old, thought processes. So you just have to like kind of constantly remind yourself. I mean, y'all are lucky. Our listeners are lucky because you get to listen to us and we get to remind you, but we have to remind ourselves sometimes of we need to stand up to our 3D and seriously, and stop thinking that anything in your 3D is like permanent. You can change anything in your 3D, and stop getting mad at your 3D because everything comes back to you. So stand up, babes. That was a perfect TikTok, and we're obsessed with you, babe.
Yeah, that was so funny. I love that. I said I said comment, subscribe.
I said like, comment, share, repost. Yeah. That was amazing. But yeah, so we're method acting, and we are really feeling the feelings of being, the best podcast. You can feel the feelings of, being the best at whatever you want to do. And people end up reflecting that back to you either immediately or eventually. Yeah. People eventually just have to catch on and just kind of have to go with whatever you're putting out there.
Totally.
So stop shrinking yourself. Keep believing in yourself, keep gaslighting yourself into believing in yourself, gaslight yourself into confidence. Look at your hype me up note, right? Remind yourself of your wins, remind yourself of how amazing you are, and life starts to get even more and more and more and more fun.
Right. And if you guys want more info, we're actually hosting a masterclass this Thursday. Yes. So 2 days after this episode comes out.
Yes, the 19th.
The 19th, which you can find a link in our show notes to join.
Yeah.
But we're talking about essentially going from anxious to magnetic.
Yeah.
Which I've always said this, the number one thing Olivia and I can prove at the moment / I think always, in terms of
what we've manifested,
what we've manifested is the fact that we feel good.
We feel so freaking good. And like, I wouldn't necessarily say that I used to have anxiety per se.
I did. Horrible anxiety.
But maybe I kind of did. I don't know. I didn't feel great. That's the thing. I didn't feel great. I didn't feel confident. I was very worried about life. So maybe that's anxiety. I don't know. I just didn't really like claim that, I guess.
She starts defining exactly what anxiety is. She's like, I used to feel this.
Yeah. Like, I feel shaky all the time. You're like, yeah, man,
couldn't go out in public.
Yeah, really stressed. But yeah, I definitely used to be very, very like worried about life per se, and I feel so freaking like pumped about myself, so excited about life, so confident in myself and in life. And sorry, what were you saying?
Just the masterclass on Thursday.
Okay, yeah. You should register for our masterclass on Thursday. We're going to be teaching you, a little bit more in depth of how to rewire your mind, how to regulate your nervous system, and with the topic of reducing your anxiety, because that's like one of the number one questions that we get. So many people are out there running around with anxious thoughts, and there's actually so many tools to get rid of your anxious thoughts.
Yep.
So many. So yes, register for our masterclass, and we're excited about that. Something else we want to talk about is that we went to the protest, the No Kings protest / anti-ICE, I guess, protest. I think they were kind of combined here in Los Angeles yesterday. And like, you guys, first of all, there was a lot of, or I feel like I saw a lot of like fear mongering about going to the protest, like, oh, bad things are going to happen. Nothing really that bad happens at protests, you guys. Like, me and Kames,
we've been to a lot of protests.
Yeah, we're proud, like, protesters. We're out there with the people.
They're fun.
And it's actually so cool to be surrounded by like-minded people who are also, like, fighting the good fight. And I think it gives you so much hope. And we saw, I don't know. I think Los Angeles protest was like the biggest in the country. So we made history, guys. We're going to be in the history books.
I think this is a good just circle back to what we were talking about last week about radical optimism and curating your feeds and or curating your life to look like the things you want to see.
Yes.
Because that's a perfect example of the news and how scary things can be. And it's true. Things they're scary.
Yeah.
They're scary. But on the flip side of that, it's really important to show the good things and show the movement and the love and the kindness and the happiness and show that things really are moving in the right direction.
Yes.
The wool is coming up over people's eyes. People want everyone to win. Things like that.
Yes.
So we're in good spirits. We went with our friends yesterday and we had a good time. The time was had.
The time was had. And it was really beautiful to see so many people that are so dedicated to like standing up for their neighbors and standing up for other people and moving the world in a good direction. So we just needed that on record that we were there. I was like, wait, and all this information's coming out. It's like one of the biggest protests ever and stuff like that. And I'm like, we're going to be in history books. Like, that's cool.
Yeah. If you guys are ever curious about where Olivia and I stand, just know we're for the people always.
We're for the people always.
We are for the poor and the vulnerable and everything in between. And we want the world to move in a better direction. And
it is.
It is. And I think my old role in that was being a nurse. I touched a lot of different people and I learned a lot for myself. And I think our role in it now is speaking with you guys.
Yeah.
So if you want more people to feel uplifted, if you want more people to be excited, to regulate their nervous systems, to start rewiring their minds, to start listening to more positive content, please continue sharing our podcast because we are raising the global consciousness.
Yeah, because
the universal consciousness.
The universal consciousness. We're the best podcast.
We are the best podcast.
So it just makes sense to share the best podcast, obviously. I saw a lot of people gave us like ratings and stuff. So shout out to our people.
Anyways, guys, we love you per usual. Just remember, y'all are bad bitches.
Yes.
And you are the only one holding yourself back.
Yeah.
You're the only one holding yourself back.
Sucks to suck.
And you can change your mind at any moment. You can decide to stop holding yourself back.
Yes.
You can decide to start method acting the person you know yourself to be. It's in there. It is you. So
you just have to remember. That's it. Like, I was also talking about that with my client of like, she's like, sometimes I don't feel worthy. Like, I'm still working on feeling worthy. I'm like, okay, well, at your core, you are worthy. That's just a fact. Like, that's a fact. And if you don't feel like you're worthy, you're just forgetting. Like, you're either forgetting or you have some type of like limiting belief, subconscious belief that you just need to get rid of to come back to your ultimate true core self of remembering that you're inherently worthy. Like, you're inherently worthy. So it's really cool because that is the truth for every single person and everyone can feel that way. Tools like shadow work and EFT tapping and your affirmations and this podcast are all things that help you. There's so many different tools to like that you can do to make yourself remember that.
Yeah.
And make yourself feel that. So yes, I think that's all we got for you today.
We will see you either in the webinar on Thursday, the masterclass, or next week.
We love you.
Love you.